When examining the United States, it becomes evident that not every state offers the same level of warmth or friendliness. Each state possesses distinct traits that influence its overall reputation for friendliness or lack thereof toward both residents and visitors. Various factors, including local cultural practices, economic conditions, and social dynamics, significantly shape these perceptions. In some states, people might encounter a cooler reception due to cultural norms that emphasize privacy or independence over social interaction. Additionally, economic challenges such as higher unemployment rates or financial instability might lead to a less welcoming atmosphere. Urban and rural differences can also affect how friendly a state feels, with bustling urban centers sometimes being perceived as less friendly due to the fast-paced lifestyle and anonymity. It's crucial to understand that perceptions of friendliness are highly subjective and can differ based on individual experiences and viewpoints. While some states are renowned for their warmth and hospitality, others may be viewed as more reserved or even unwelcoming. In this discussion, we will delve into the top 10 states in the U.S. that are considered the least friendly. In the 10th position, we find Arkansas. This might come as a surprise to some. It's worth noting that Northwest Arkansas feels distinctly different from the rest of the state, almost as though it's a separate region entirely. There are even discussions about possibly severing ties with Arkansas and joining New England due to the stark cultural differences. Despite its potential as a hidden gem, locals might be somewhat reluctant to share their slice of paradise with outsiders. Imagine someone encroaching on your favorite fishing spot or monopolizing the best barbecue joint. Such scenarios might understandably lead to a less friendly demeanor. Moreover, while Arkansas may not receive as much attention as its neighboring southern states, it still endures the intense heat and humidity typical of the region, which can impact people's attitudes. Nonetheless, Arkansas is on the verge of becoming a more popular destination thanks to its natural beauty and affordability. The state features stunning landscapes, from the Ozark Mountains to Hot Springs National Park, which attract outdoor enthusiasts and nature lovers. Its lower cost of living compared to other states makes it an appealing choice for those considering relocation or retirement. A survey revealed that 3,721 individuals voted Arkansas as the most unfriendly state out of 5,000 votes. This significant response underscores a widespread perception of Arkansas as being less welcoming or friendly, particularly to those from outside the state. The state's cultural and geographical diversity plays a role in shaping these views, with noticeable differences between urban and rural areas contributing to varied social dynamics. Coming in at number 9 is Florida. Despite its reputation for perpetual sunshine and sandy beaches, Florida is also known for harboring a reputation for unfriendliness among some of its residents. Perhaps it's the oppressive humidity that dampens their spirits, or maybe they're simply worn out from constantly navigating around alligators and hurricanes. It's possible they've encountered one too many people sporting mullets or have had their share of unpleasant interactions with rude individuals. As previously mentioned, states with high concentrations of such individuals often get labeled as unfriendly. Imagine this scenario. You're relaxing in the sun, enjoying a margarita, and you ask a local for directions. Instead of a warm response, you might receive a grunt that leaves you feeling like you've stumbled into the wrong neighborhood. But can you blame them? Florida's news is frequently filled with bizarre wildlife encounters, from alligators in swimming pools to invasive species sightings. The state also faces an influx of tourists every summer, adding to the stress and strain on local residents. Plus, Florida seems to have its fair share of insects, from mosquitoes to love bugs, which could understandably make residents a bit irritable. So, if you find yourself in Florida, be sure to bring patience and perhaps a guidebook. They might come in handy. A survey revealed that 2,567 individuals voted Florida as the most unfriendly state, highlighting a widespread perception of Floridians as being less than welcoming, especially to outsiders or tourists. At number 8 is Rhode Island. Rhode Island is seldom mentioned on this channel, and there's a reason for that. Perhaps it's due to its small size, or maybe it's because my experiences there have consistently been rather unpleasant. One recurring theme in these negative experiences is the people. Yes, it's the residents you encounter in Rhode Island, particularly in Providence, who leave a less than favorable impression. They're often described as unfriendly. However, it's not just my personal experience. Rhode Island has earned a reputation for being less welcoming. Maybe it's a small-town mentality, where tightly knit communities make outsiders feel like they're intruding on a family gathering. Rhode Islanders are known for their strong sense of local pride and community. While this fosters a close-knit environment for those within their circle, it can create an alien experience for newcomers and visitors. This exclusivity often translates into a perceived unfriendliness towards those who are not part of the established social fabric. Number 7 is New York. When discussing New York, the focus often narrows to New York City, which houses a large portion of the state's population. Living in the city can feel like participating in a real-life game of Frogger, where pedestrians seem to be as numerous as vehicles and traffic lights serve merely as suggestions. It's not surprising that New Yorkers have earned a reputation for being unfriendly. However, this perception extends beyond the city. The rest of New York can also feel demanding. Imagine trying to reach your favorite bagel spot only to find yourself constantly dodging tourists and their selfie sticks. Time is a precious commodity in the Big Apple, and the hustle is unrelenting. If a local brushes past you without an apology, don't take it personally. It's simply their way of navigating the hustle. They don't have time for small talk or extended apologies. Instead, you might get a quick wave as they continue on their way. The fast-paced lifestyle of New York can be misinterpreted as unfriendliness by many. The city that never sleeps demands efficiency and a no-nonsense attitude. This relentless pace means that New Yorkers are often in a hurry, juggling multiple tasks and racing against the clock. This constant rush can make them seem brusque or indifferent to those unfamiliar with such a lifestyle. The state's reputation for unfriendliness isn't confined to the urban sprawl of NYC. Even in upstate New York, where life moves at a slower pace, there is still a sense of directness and practicality that can be misinterpreted. Residents in these areas value their time and often communicate in a straightforward manner. This pragmatic approach to social interactions might appear cold or unfriendly, but it's rooted in a deep-seated respect for efficiency and productivity. A survey showed that 12,200 respondents voted New York as the most unfriendly state, reflecting these complex social dynamics. The state's fast-paced lifestyle and cultural diversity contribute to this perception. However, it's important to recognize that these traits are part of what makes New York unique and dynamic. Number 6 is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania may have earned a reputation for being somewhat unfriendly, but let's clarify this point. It's not that Pennsylvanians dislike others. They simply have their own unique way of expressing it. Imagine a Pennsylvanian patiently waiting in line for a cheesesteak, only to have an out-of-towner try to cut in. You can bet they'll speak up about it. After all, fairness is crucial when it comes to the perfect sandwich, isn't it? Pennsylvanians have a deep attachment to local traditions, and their straightforward, no-nonsense attitude might come across as a bit rough. However, beneath this exterior, they are actually quite passionate, especially about their sports teams and, of course, Wawa. If you're not familiar, Wawa is a type of convenience store, and Pennsylvanians never seem to tire of discussing it, along with the weather. The state's blend of urban and rural areas contributes to its complex social dynamics. In cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, the hustle and bustle can make residents seem brusque or hurried. The fast pace of city life, combined with a high value placed on efficiency and directness, can be seen as unfriendliness by those unaccustomed to it. Conversely, in Pennsylvania's rural areas, the slower pace of life and close-knit communities might make outsiders feel like they're intruding on a private world. The strong sense of community and tradition in these areas often means that newcomers need to earn their place. A survey revealed that 609 out of 5,000 respondents identified Pennsylvania as the most unfriendly state, highlighting these nuanced social dynamics. However, it's important to look beyond initial impressions. While Pennsylvania residents may seem standoffish at first, once you get to know them, you'll find a community that is warm, passionate, and deeply proud of its heritage. Number 5 is New Jersey. New Jersey is often labeled as unfriendly, but let's explore why. Imagine driving along the Garden State Parkway and someone cuts you off, honking their horn like they're auditioning for a trumpet solo. It's not that New Jerseyans are inherently mean-spirited. They're simply always on the go, fueled by bagel diner coffee and a fierce determination to avoid traffic at all costs. While this behavior might be typical in New Jersey and New York, it can seem brash or aggressive to those from the South or Midwest. The fast-paced lifestyle in New Jersey contributes to this perception. People are constantly rushing, whether it's commuting, running errands, or trying to fit in a workout. This constant hurry can make interactions seem abrupt or even rude to those unaccustomed to it. Conversations with New Jerseyans often involve animated hand gestures and passionate storytelling. Whether discussing their children, preschool, or a recent police encounter, they have strong opinions and aren't afraid to express them. This directness can be interpreted as unfriendly by those who prefer a more reserved or polite approach to social interactions. However, once you break through the initial brusqueness, you'll discover that New Jerseyans are fiercely loyal and protective of their own. They might appear rough around the edges, but their loyalty and hospitality become apparent once you've earned their trust. Number 4 is California. Let's address the common misconception that California is unfriendly. Why does California have this reputation? Think about the long hours spent stuck in freeway traffic, the constant job interviews, and the quest for the perfect avocado toast. Californians might seem a bit preoccupied or aloof because they're juggling these demands. Picture yourself at a glamorous Hollywood party, attempting to engage in conversation, only to be met with a polite smile and a swift exit to the next networking opportunity. The competitive nature and high cost of living in California contribute to its reputation for unfriendliness. Residents are continually striving to keep up with the fast-paced lifestyle and high expectations that come with living in major cities like Los Angeles or San Francisco. The pressure to maintain a certain image or achieve specific goals can overshadow casual friendliness. However, this doesn't imply that Californians lack warmth or hospitality. On the contrary, once you get past the initial surface, you'll find them to be incredibly generous and open-hearted. The demands of daily life often take precedence over spontaneous social interactions. Additionally, California's vast size and diversity result in varying experiences of friendliness. While some areas may feel impersonal or competitive, others offer a warm and welcoming atmosphere. A survey indicated that 1,257 respondents voted California as the most unfriendly state, reflecting this complex social landscape. Number 3 is Missouri. Missouri often appears on lists of unfriendly states, but why is this the case? Perhaps it's the state's motto, "Show me," which reflects a cautious approach to friendliness. Missourians are known for their reserved and unassuming nature, and they tend to warm up to newcomers slowly. Picture yourself at a local barbecue in Missouri. Don't be surprised if you're initially met with skepticism before being invited to join in. It's not that Missourians are unkind. They simply prefer to take their time getting to know people before extending their hospitality. This cautious approach might be seen as unfriendliness, but it stems from a desire for genuine connections. The state's central location and mix of urban and rural areas contribute to its complex social dynamics. In cities like St. Louis and Kansas City, the fast-paced lifestyle and competitive job market can make interactions feel transactional or impersonal. In rural areas, tight-knit communities might take longer to accept outsiders, prioritizing deep-rooted relationships over casual acquaintances. A survey showed that 10,072 respondents voted Missouri as the most unfriendly state, reflecting the nuanced perception of its social climate. Although Missourians might initially appear reserved or distant, they often prove to be loyal and trustworthy once you've gained their trust. Number 2 is Massachusetts. Massachusetts frequently appears at the top of lists identifying unfriendly states. So why is this the case? Imagine braving the harsh winter weather while trying to engage in small talk with a local. You'll likely find that the residents are direct and straightforward, with little time for pleasantries. While this might seem unfriendly to some, it's simply their approach to navigating life in the Bay State. Massachusetts residents are known for their no-nonsense attitude and high standards. They value efficiency and typically avoid small talk or idle chatter. This directness can be perceived as brusque or unwelcoming by those unfamiliar with it. However, this straightforward communication style is often a sign of respect, as it emphasizes honesty and clarity over superficial interactions. In cities like Boston, the fast-paced lifestyle and competitive nature contribute to a sense of urgency and efficiency in social interactions. The weather also plays a role in shaping locals' demeanor. Harsh winters and frequent snowstorms can make people more reserved and focused on their daily tasks. A survey revealed that 9,870 respondents identified Massachusetts as the most unfriendly state, underscoring the influence of these cultural and environmental factors. And at number 1 is Alaska. Alaska undeniably tops the list as the most unfriendly state. Picture this. You're trying to strike up a conversation with an Alaskan only to receive a curt nod before they return to their solitary fishing spot. Alaskans are known for their rugged independence and self-reliance, which can sometimes come across as aloof or distant. The state's isolated geography and harsh climate contribute to this perception of unfriendliness. With such a low population density, residents often keep to themselves, resulting in fewer social interactions and a more reserved demeanor. Alaska's extreme weather conditions and remote location foster a lifestyle centered around self-sufficiency and privacy. This isolation can make social interactions feel infrequent or impersonal, contributing to the perception of unfriendliness. However, it's important to recognize that Alaskans value their community and are often incredibly loyal to those they consider friends. The state's vast wilderness and tight-knit communities nurture a sense of camaraderie among residents, even if it's not immediately evident to outsiders. A survey showed that 3,489 respondents voted Alaska as the most unfriendly state, reflecting these complex social dynamics. Despite the initial impression of aloofness, those who earn the trust of Alaskans often find a warm and supportive community beneath the surface.